Hey guys, welcome back. I thought I would pop in really quickly and let you know about my plans for my 2023 Project Life album, which as you can see is not 12 by 12. I am going to do a 9 by 12 album this year. Life around here looks a little different than it has for the last, 10 years that I've been doing Project Life. It's a bit different. It's just Shane and I now, so just the two of us. After the last few years, I'm back full-time work again, so the days around here are a little bit repetitive, and I'm not sure that they warrant a 12 by 12 spread anymore. Plus, I just felt like a little bit of a change. Now, I did a 12 by 12 kind of more like layout album a few years back. I really enjoyed that. And so it's not a completely new format to me, so I'm thinking that it will be fun. I had a backup plan though, because I got this 9 by 12 album. I didn't buy anything new. I actually had this in my stash. I had used it to store older Citrus Twist stamps for a while. So I've moved those stamps out into a 12 by 12 album. And I'm gonna use this one. So this is a really old Studio Calico album. I'm going to use it, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then I will just transfer the 9 by 12 pages that I've done at that point back into a 12 by 12 album. I'm not planning for defeat, that being said, but I do have a backup plan if this size doesn't suit. Just because I think like one of the like biggest tips I would give for starting or continuing a Project Life practice is to make it work for you. So if a double spread 12 by 12 album weekly works for you, then that is awesome. But if you want to do one 9 by 12 spread per month, that's also great for you. I think it's super important to make it a doable project so that you can carry it on through the whole year, or through a whole decade in fact. So I didn't have page protectors for the album, so I did grab some newer ones from scrapbook.com. I got one of the kind of mixed packs, so there is well, this is going to be hard to show you. There is this configuration, so there's a 4x6 at the top and the bottom, 3 3x4s through the middle, and then a 3x4 top and bottom. There is just the 9 3x4 slots, and this one here has 3 4x6s and 3 3x4s. So that's kind of the, I'm thinking that this one with the 2 4x6s and the rest 3x4s will probably be my go-to, just because it's fairly similar to the 12 by 12s that I have been doing. I did also get this pack here, which I can show you. Looks like 3 4x6s and 3 3x4s, but it is actually a flip out. So it does have the 6 3x4 spaces in here, with actually 3 on the front. So if there are weeks, you know, like birthday weeks or event weeks that might need more spots, I do have an option for those as well. So that's my plan, that's my size for the album. I'm going to start off, I haven't done it for a long time. I haven't had title pages in my albums for probably the last 2 or 3 years. I'm going to do one of those today. I figure it's a new chance to start again, so I'm going to add a few kind of extra things back into my Project Life albums. One of them being title pages. I'm thinking about maybe doing a monthly selfie project. I did that a few years back too, and that was quite fun. So I'm thinking I'm just going to add a few more kind of fun elements back into my album. The other thing that I'm thinking about doing is not being quite so strict about the weekly spreads. And so if there are weeks, which there have been during 2022, where I really struggle for photos, or there wasn't that much going on that week, I'm thinking I might kind of swap formats and tell a more kind of singular story based layout. That's kind of my vague idea at the moment. Whether that pans out or not, stay tuned, we'll find out. But for now, I am going to clean this up and I am going to do the title page for my 2023 album. Now, I really was looking for this to be a quick process, so I didn't want to overwhelm myself with too many decisions. I had this stash kit sitting out on my desk because I wanted to use it for my week 1 spread. I figured I might as well just use it for the title page. So this is a stash kit that I made last year at the start of 2022. I have added to it a little bit because it was one that I wasn't ready to put away just yet, so I added a few bits and pieces to it. And I think you'll be surprised at the color scheme I end up with here. So I've got this kind of that kind of khaki, green, yellow, and a blue plaid in the 4x6 card down the bottom. I really loved it. I think it's a really old studio calico paper again, and so I figured I would just work with that. So I'm going with this kind of tealy blue color and some of that khaki greeny yellow. You can see me trying to add in other colors here. I wouldn't call it desperation, but I thought, can I add a little bit of this kind of pink color in here as well? But actually I liked it without it. And the other thing that I'm shuffling in and out is I had that week card down the bottom from Brandy Kincaid, and the other cards with text on it that I kept adding, they kind of overwhelmed it. And when I thought about what I wanted this page to actually be about, the week card kind of made more sense to me because it is a title card. I really loved the kind of, it was a green kind of floral on one side and a quote about heart on the other. Heart is my one little word for this year, so I thought that that would make sense, but I didn't like the way it interacted with the other cards there. So I pulled it out and I've got this very kind of pale yellow and kind of aqua going on. So I really love it. Now, I'm not going to do a whole lot in the way of embellishing. Again, I was keeping things simple. I had already printed out a photo of myself and Shane. I made it black and white when I printed it because I didn't know what I was going to do with this page, and I figured black and white was going to be the simplest to work with. And it really was. And so as far as embellishments go, in the kit there were these, and it's the same kind of really pale tealy kind of, it's almost sage, like it's not a bright teal with gold words, tiny phrase stickers from Citrus Twist. And I've also got I think the collection is This Is Us, the floral pack from Rosie Studios, which just so happened to have some of the same kind of mustardy yellow flowers in there. So there wasn't, that's not a brand new pack, so there's some missing out of there. There wasn't really a cluster that I liked. I didn't want to add the pink in that pack. I didn't want to add the pink back into this spread, so I'm kind of just going to go ahead and try and make my own little cluster here. I got a bit tired, to be honest, of every time I moved something, one of those little flowers moved, so I decided just to commit. I'm going to start gluing as I go. I do intend to stitch this cluster together, so I'm being very minimal with my smart glue here just to make sure that my sewing machine doesn't have an issue with the stitching. I had added a little bit of stitching to that top 3x4 with the tiny phrase sticker as well, and it just so happened that I got lucky. I don't have any white thread at the moment, so my sewing machine is actually threaded with yellow, so it all worked out very nicely, that I didn't have to do any extra work to get this adhered down. I've glued my cluster, and I did add some of those florals have got a gold foil on them, again just to kind of tie in that tiny phrase sticker at the top with the gold foil. It would have looked a bit strange if that was the only piece on here that had that shimmer. So I stitched down the floral cluster, and now literally all I have to do is I'm just going to stamp my dates up here. So I'm using that lunar number stamp set from Citrus Twist, one of my faves. I love having an outline and a solid. I grabbed my little oxide ink swatch chart there, and speckled egg is the color that I decided was closest to the kind of lighter teal color that I've got in those stickers, or just in my colour scheme all together. I'm going to skip through the tedium of stamping here. I stamped all of those. I've stamped them on the bottom right corner of just this really plain grid pattern, and then I'm using black soot to stamp the outline, so I've got all of those kind of colours in there. I offset that line to stamp so that it was kind of hanging off the bottom and off the side. It's a technique I used last year and I really loved it, so I decided I would just add it into my title here. Now these little puffy sticker words are very old. I think they're the 5th Monaco collection from the no longer pink paisley. Such a shame. And I wanted to use the word story, which was one of the words down there, but I didn't want it to be white because it was not going to stand out on my title card. So I'm going to butcher a few of the other words on here. Never fear, this is a set of stickers that is in the stash kit for a reason, because I've never used them. So I haven't used them as the words that they are, so I'm going to use them basically as puffy sticker alphas instead of words. So I spelled out our story in the end. I decided story by itself didn't kind of sit very well. I thought our story works nicely. I'm going to again just add a little bit of stitching onto the bottom of that because it pulls it all together nicely, and that's my title card. That's my title page all finished for 2023. I am ready to jump in and start documenting in this new size, new format, and I hope you will join me as I do so. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, I'm going to leave a couple of videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye.